It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, this is a forum on Eagle TV. I'm Gary Shorman. Thanks for joining us today. Our forum's brought to you by Hayes Med. Marjean Deines is our guest today, and she's an associate director of the Trego County Historical Museum. And good to have you on our program, Marjean.
Well, thank you very much.
You know what? I saw this on the list of programs coming. I thought, I'm excited about this because, one, I don't know much about it. You know, sometimes you're in an area for a while and you say, boy, that's cool, this cool, that's cool. I don't know much about your museum. Tell us what you have over there.
Well, the museum, about 6 years ago, kind of opened back up again.
So it had been open before?
It had been open before, just afternoons, and run by a volunteer staff, a few part-time paid individuals. But about 6 years ago, they received a nice donation and decided to hire staff on a daily basis, and now we're open 6 days a week. So with that came changes to the museum, changing displays and adding to displays.
Well, you know what, trying to preserve history in our part of the world, unless it takes dollars, which it does, it also takes people to do that. Tell me, where is the museum and what will people see when they walk in the door?
The museum is located on 13th Street in Waukegan. If you take exit 128 off of I-70 and go 1.5 miles north, we sit right on the edge of the fairgrounds, right across from the high school.
And so you walk in the door, you open it up, what do you see in there?
You see everything from vintage clothing to household tools, the old stoves, the old one-bottom plows. We have a new collection that we just put up to honor World War I, the 100th anniversary. So we have a lot of propaganda posters, military uniforms. We have even unique things as Mackenzie mitts. They're handcuffs. About 1 in 50 were made. There were 50 made, and we have one of them.
Now, how did you get this stuff? Now, I can see the one-bottom plow. I can see some of the old farm tools because you can go to my dad's garage and probably find some of those. But some of those are kind of unusual, those old posters, that sort of thing.
Right. Now, the old posters were uncovered in one of our cabinets. We are not sure where they came from, how the former curator and volunteers found them. They tucked them away and we uncovered them just at the right time. Some of the other things have been donated by local families in the area or families that used to reside in Trego County and in the Waukegan area and Collier and Ogalla area.
Well, what's your background? Because, you know, Marjean, you've been your last name Deines, so there's some Deines from over in Trego County, obviously.
That is correct.
And so you have history of growing up there, or at least married into a farmer, as I understand that, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
What brings you to run a museum and be an associate director there? How did that happen?
Well, we moved here, I should say my husband moved back, I moved with him a few years ago, and I needed a job and I saw this and applied for it, and I had worked in cooperative extension, working with the youth program, so doing programs and educating individuals and sharing that knowledge has been part of my past for a long time. And my mom was a school teacher and a history teacher, so it kind of played into, I kind of like that kind of programming and sharing that knowledge.
Well, you know, what's impressive is you are able to keep that open 6 days a week. In fact, this past Memorial Day, I hear you guys had a wonderful day of people coming through and events in Waukegan itself.
Yes, we actually extended our hours. We're normally closed on Mondays, and we extended them and we're open on Memorial Day just for our special World War I display. We had about 50-some visitors just that day, but we had a special program on Sunday. Jerry White was our speaker, and his program was on the cost of freedom is high, featuring the gentlemen that lost their lives in World War I from Trego County. It was a very moving presentation that he gave.
Well, you look back through the years, and Memorial Day is a good day to remember that. And with the museum having some of those relics and some of the history pieces from that, probably a great story to tell for those people that don't remember what went on. Right. Where do you go next with the museum, Marjean?
Well, with the new addition that we have added to the museum, we have the Purrington collection that is being assembled right now.
Sounds cool. What is it?
Well, Leonard and Irene Purrington were a family that lived south of Collier at the base of Castle Rock in the community of Banner that was once there. And they have collected everything from fossils to Western tack, saddles, bits, spurs, and then pottery. So that collection is being put to display, and right now the fossils are the focus we have because they were so fragile that we wanted to get them on display first. We're going to work on the Western tack here later this summer and get that display going. So that
Western what?
Western tack.
Okay.
So saddles or bits
All
or
that.
spurs, bridles, everything will be going up to later.
Well, this sounds like a lot of fun. We're going to take a break and come back and talk with Marjean about how you can visit. The times of the facility is open so that if you want to take a trip over and make a great visit, if you have friends or family around here, to talk about some of the history in Western Kansas. We'll be back with more after this from Hayes Med.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
Are you frustrated with Wi-Fi dead zones in your home? It happens when you don't have Pulse, the cutting-edge Wi-Fi solution from Eagle Communications. A Pulse-certified Eagle technician maps your home, then installs a dual-band modem and router, plus discrete access points to deliver wall-to-wall Wi-Fi with no dead zones. Pulse powers all your family's devices in all the places you love to live. Get Pulse, Wi-Fi made simple, only from Eagle Communications. Call today.
Welcome back to the second half of our forum program. We're talking about the Trego County Historical Society and their museum that they have. Our guest is Marjean Deines. If you have any ideas about great programs like this one, send them to me at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. We like to research and find some of the cool things that go on in Northwest and Western Kansas. This would be one of those. Again, gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. You can also go online on Facebook and you'll find us under ECTV Forum. ECTV Forum. Again, it's good to have you watching along. The program is brought to you by Hayes Med, and our guest is Marjean Deines. And Marjean is an associate director. We've been talking a little bit about what the projects are, what's going on over at the Trego County Historical Society and the museum there. Somebody here wants to find out more. Can you go online? Is there an online site for this?
Actually, you can. You can go to our website, which is tregohistorical.org, and that gives our daily schedule. And so you can find out our schedule there, or you can contact us through Facebook. That's Trego Historical also, or you can email us at tregohistorical.ruraltel.net.
Very good. Well, you have that all down. And you know what? When you go back today, I'm just curious. When you go back today and or tomorrow and go to work, what will be the things that you do? Is it going back and working with the fossils, or do you actually help guests and tell the story about some of these different things that you have?
Actually, we do a wide variety. When someone walks in the door, our visitors are our first priority. We tell them the story of Trego County and the area. If they'd like a guided tour, we can give them a guided tour, self-guided tour. They can take a self-guided tour through the museum. Other times we are working on cataloging artifacts that have come in on donations. We're working on programming that is coming up. We have some scheduled programming coming up. Later in August, we're going to do a Heritage Days at the museum. And so it's a variety every day. I'm not sure who's going to walk in that door, what treasure they might bring in, or what unique find we might have of our history.
Well, maybe I ought to go look in Dad's garage. Might have something for you there out in his shop at some point. Marjean, people that want to come and visit and do that, is that a half-day trip? Is it a few-hour trip to go through the museum, or can you really just spend as much time? Because there may be people driving through, have family coming through and say, hey, this would be a fun thing to go look at.
Actually, you can spend as much time as you would like there. We had visitors yesterday afternoon that says we could spend days here. We could come back several days and see different items. If you'd like to focus specifically on our vintage clothing, that would probably take a couple hours because we do have a tremendous amount of that. We have household items. We have a small camera collection. So if you have different interests, it might take just an hour or so. Or if you like history in general, it would probably take you all day to go through our museum, I would say.
Well, I love it. Somebody has this enthusiasm for the history of what we have. What are 2 special items that you have that of all the museum, all the pieces out there that you say, boy, I think this is really cool? Do you have 2 of them?
I would say we do. A year ago in May, we took the old stones from the bank building that was built in 1925 and replicated that as close as we could to the concrete block room we have in the museum. So we have a kind of a bank frontage that was very similar to what it was in downtown Waukegan.
That's cool.
So that's pretty special to our museum. And then another one that is not quite finished yet, we have 5 local artists working on a 50 by 14 foot mural of the history of the county, from the wagon trains to the railroad to the buffaloes. And then we have our prominent figures up in the sky, so to speak.
Very cool. Well, I hope you get a chance to go visit the Trego County Historical Society and Museum. Again, the address, the quick way to get there, if you're going down I-70, where do you go?
Get off on exit 128, go a 1.5 miles north. It's on 13th Street. We're on the edge of the fairgrounds, right next to the high school. Big 2 buildings put together.
Well, you know what, and they're going to be looking for you there too.
So,
are you there all the time?
I am there most of the time. I'm considered their full-time staff member, so we have another part-time person, but I'm usually there a lot of the time.
Very cool. Hope you get a chance to visit the Trego County Historical Society. Thanks for watching our program. Marjean, thank you for being here and being a part of this. Our forum program is brought to you by Hayes Med and by Eagle Communications, our community connected.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications, our community connected.